excited about you being on. Welcome to Now Faith is TV.
Thank you, Dr. Paulette. I am so honored to be here.
Now Faith is TV, where faith, books, and business collide. Experience the power of faith, now streaming on your TV. Hello, and welcome everyone to Now Faith is TV, where faith, books, and business collide. I am your host, Dr. Paulette Harper, award-winning author and self-publishing coach for nonfiction authors, and also the founder of Harper Media and Coaching Academy, where I unlock the power of storytelling for coaches, speakers, entrepreneurs, and aspiring authors who desire to write that one book that positions them as experts in their niche. I'm excited about this episode. I have an amazing author, entrepreneur, and business owner, Sondra King. I had the pleasure of working with her in one of my anthologies, and I want to share with you a little bit about this amazing woman that she is. She is an entrepreneur, as I mentioned, businesswoman, and best-selling author. She describes herself as an entrepreneur by profession, inspirational writer by passion, and an author by purpose. Hallelujah. She also is a nutrition enthusiast and the owner of K&B Smooth Nutrition. Hello, Sondra. Welcome to Now Faith is TV.
Hello, Paulette. It's so good to be here. So good to be back.
Okay. Yes. First of all, congratulations on all your amazing accomplishments, becoming a best-selling author, and then your business. So tell the audience a little bit more about who Sondra is.
Great. Well, thank you, first of all, for having me. And I am Sondra King. I am, first of all, an author, but I'm also a businesswoman and a business owner. And I started, as you know, as working on an anthology with Paulette Harper. And I always credit this to her. I said she created a beast because she released the fear from me when I did the anthology, The Breaking Point. So that really is how it started. And I probably would have been still sitting down on my books. I would have just been probably trying to just sit there and be scared to make the next move. But doing that anthology really just opened that pathway up for me to really pursue what I wanted to do. And first of all, it was writing. And the other part was just nutrition. So I always loved both of them. So once I did the books, I decided to just pursue my other passion, which was nutrition. And that's when I decided to launch my website with K&B Smooth Nutrition.
Oh, what a beautiful story. Yeah. So beautiful. So let's start with you being an author.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then it leads into your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wonderful. So when we met, you had already written a book, correct?
Correct. Okay. I had already written a book. It was my daily prayer.
Okay.
And when I met you, of course, we did the anthology. Mm-hmm. And that was a huge success. Bestseller. It was a bestseller. And after that, I released another solo book, which was my Daily Prayer Volume 2. So
Okay.
I used all of the tools and resources that you provided that was gained with the anthology that we were in.
Yeah.
And once I did that, that just gave me the confidence to just pursue and complete that second book of mine, that solo book. And I'm so thankful that I did because that is now in some of the most well-known bookstores here locally and some schools here, private schools, Christian schools. So it just went places that I would have never dreamed of. And so I'm just so thankful that I was obedient. I'm glad that you were obedient, but that kind of just opened the door for me to pursue my passion and my purpose of writing, but it
Yeah.
also gave me the confidence to also pursue my love of nutrition as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Teary-eyed. You know why? Because you started out with one book, and
Mhm.
then we worked together,
Mhm.
and it just, I mean, from what you just said, just really sparked and ignited something that may have been dormant in you,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
you just took off.
Yeah.
And I love it. I absolutely love it because you just didn't stop at the one book. You went
Mhm.
and did the anthology, and for me, working with you on that anthology, and seeing the transformation
Yeah.
and the fact that you got changed in this whole process, and
Yeah.
what developed in you was the overcoming the fear.
Yes,
Oh,
definitely.
yeah.
Definitely.
And then you wrote your third book,
Mhm.
and you have it in places that you probably didn't even think about. Oh my goodness. Tell
About.
tell,
I
tell
wouldn't
the
have.
audience that piece, because sometimes authors just write a book
Yeah.
and they don't do the extra work that is
Yes.
needed to put it in
Yes.
those places like that. So tell us about that.
Yeah, that's another thing I learned. I had to learn that you do have to put the work in and you do have to promote and market yourself. And that was one of the things that I was very skeptical of. I was scared to do it because I've never been the type to like go around asking people just promoting, to buy this or purchase that. But you have to look at it in a business standpoint. If
Yeah.
you're wanting to get your work out there, if you're wanting people to read your story, to hear your story, I always say, what's a story without it being told?
Yeah.
So if you sit there and write a book or a paper or essay, whatever it is you want someone to hear, it's not gonna go anywhere if you just sit on it. You can
Yeah.
say for years, you can say for days, "Well, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna publish it, I'm going to." And when you look up, days are passing, weeks are passing, months are passing, years are passing, and next thing you know, sometimes you can allow that good thing to pass you by because you've just
Mhm.
sat down and not, acted on it.
Yeah.
So, that anthology gave me the confidence. I learned to persevere. If one person told me no or one company, I would call another company. I
That's
just
it.
targeted the people that I knew where I wanted my book placed. I targeted that I wanted where I wanted to see it go. So,
Yeah.
and I targeted some of the biggest bookstores here. And I said, well, if they don't want it here, that's fine. I can go to the next one. I just had that mentality that, you know, I have to keep going because
Yeah.
I want this book to be read and I want the story to be told, but more
Yeah.
so, I wanted people to know about Christ and I wanted people to hear the story and know what obeying and following your purpose, where it can lead you.
Yeah.
So, marketing was a big part of it. Overcoming fear was a big part of it. But like you said, it definitely takes work. And I tell people all the time when people ask me, I said it's definitely not for the weak. It builds another part of you that you didn't even think you had,
Yeah.
and sometimes it meant spending all day emailing people or, sending over your information, but that's what it takes. So I always tell people you can't be successful or watch a business grow or thrive if you don't put in the work. So you have to
Yeah.
definitely put in the work.
Yeah, that is so good. And then the thing about it is once you put in the work and you see the results,
Hmm.
and what I heard from you, you said it was about being determined.
Yeah.
If you already had it in your mind that if somebody said no, you would go to the next person
Yes.
and they would say yes, and I think that is so great. And then you said that being an entrepreneur is not for the faint-hearted. Hey, this is work,
Yes,
it's work that you have to do,
it's work.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, I'm excited about your journey. I'm excited about what God is doing, because I see the work, and it
Mhm.
pays off. It really does,
It does. It does.
Yeah. Let's talk about your business. Okay, come on with the smoothies.
Well, so my business, I offer organic superfood smoothies. And I can't go on without sharing this part because, when I was doing the anthology, as you know, I lost my father.
Yeah,
So that was a really hard time for me. And I remember we had a deadline to make.
yeah.
And I think one of the other authors, which was my cousin, informed you that my father had passed. And I think you mentioned that you wasn't expecting me to send over the completion of it, and I did because I knew that's another thing. I knew I wanted to stay dedicated to my word for
Yeah.
one. I know I had given my word, and I know that we had a timeline, and I didn't want to not meet that deadline, And I said that this has happened, but I can't allow that to just stop me completely from what I'm doing. So I remember I did that, but at the same time, I was still interested in nutrition and some of the things that my father told me regarding his health and
Mm,
making better food choices. That kind of pushed me, gave me that nudge I needed, not knowing that he was going to pass,
yeah.
but it really gave me that extra determination that you need to pursue this.
Hmm.
And I tell people all the time, you can do more than one thing.
Yeah.
And I don't like being put in a box
Mm,
of one category saying, okay, well, you're a writer, you only need to write. There's other things, and it pays to have multiple streams of income. It pays to have your hands in more than one pot, but it also means that you are fluent and that you want people to know, hey, I'm not just good in this area. I don't just do
yeah.
this. I also have this to offer. And I
Wow.
knew I love nutrition. And to me, it just kind of came together. So after my father passed, I decided, and actually, it was the day of our book signing.
Oh, wow.
When we had the breaking point. So when we did that book signing, that was the day that I said, I worked weeks, day in and night. And I said, I'm going to make it happen. I don't care what's going on. I'm going to make it happen. And I actually launched my website that particular day. No idea what I was doing. All I knew that I had my website launched. I prepared everything where people can make orders, and some things I
Mhm.
just did as I went. I learned as I went.
That's
And
good.
I remember I didn't know where I was going, who was going to drink my smoothies. All I know is I was doing what I knew God told me to do. And I knew that I was following my vision of what I wanted for my business.
Wow.
And I went to one fitness center, and I just remember when I was in my truck, I said, I don't know where to go, where to start.
Yeah.
And I said, who wants to buy my smoothies, God? I was just having a conversation. And I said, so many people doing this, so many people doing juices, so many people. He said, but Sondra, there's nobody like you. You're the only Sondra. So you
Mm,
do what I tell you to do. Don't worry about whatever else everybody
yeah.
else is doing. Just do what I told you to do. So when I went there, I actually went to this place called Cycle Bar, and the lady asked me what I did, and I told her I was an author. So we really got on the subject of books, and she was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I love to read." So, and that's another thing I've learned, that when you just have to kind of open that conversation sometimes
Yeah.
and put it out there. Oh, okay, I write, and then that kind of leads to way to somebody say, "Well, what books do you write?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, I write this." So she was like, "I would love to get one. What else do you do?" So
Okay.
when she said that, I was like, well, I do smoothies, and I'm trying to I'm starting my business. They're superfood, they're organic. I make them fresh every day. So at that point, the lady was like, well, you can do both here. You can do your books, you can sell them here, you can set up here. And it did so well. She was like, would you be willing to come back every week? We would love to have you come every week. And
Wow.
it literally started from that one act of obedience. And it was
Wow.
like a ripple effect. And I tell anybody, it was like it was a switch, and I woke up, and it was everyone was wanting to know, could you come here? Could you come here? And that from that moment, that's how it started. And
Yeah.
I just went from one place to another, but I was still putting the work in. I was still, people wanted to know, a background story of you, what, so it's always like you have to build your bio, so to say, and you have to know what you're talking about and be
Yeah.
confident in who you are, your product, your brand, because if you're not confident in it, you're not going to be able to sell it to anyone else.
No, no, that is so true. That is so true. Praise God for that. You know, I mean, my goodness,
If
look
you
at the
don't believe in
Lord.
yourself, nobody else is going to do it, and I've learned to not to undervalue myself.
Yeah, that's good. That is so
Yeah.
good. You know, I mean, you went into the place for one purpose, and that
One
was
purpose.
for your smoothie. But
Hmm.
that conversation about being an author led into that,
Yes.
and you were able to sell your books
Hmm.
and sell your products,
Yes.
and an open door for you to
An
come
open
back.
door.
That's an amazing,
It
amazing
is. It
testimony.
is. And then that also leads to other people saying, hey, you know, I heard you, this person bought a book. I didn't know you wrote. So it's
Yeah,
almost like you just have to, like you said, open that door up. And if people don't know you do a
yeah,
certain thing, then they won't know to purchase it or what to expect. So once they found out I did both, they was like, oh, well, I love devotions. I order devotions all the time. I would love to have it. So you have to, that goes back to marketing. You
yeah,
have to have those conversations and be willing to tell people that you do offer this. And if
yeah,
you want your business to grow and you want to thrive, then you have to be willing to do that.
yeah, yeah. So you have your own facility?
I don't have my own facility.
Okay.
That's in the works as we speak. But
Okay.
right now, I do offer my smoothies locally at some of the yoga studios, fitness places, about 8 here locally that they stock
Wow.
and sell my smoothies. Yeah. So, and I'm partnered with the medical district here, which is like a huge area where it's the medical district where some of the hospitals, doctors' offices. It's like a lot of local businesses that do business with the news anchor people,
Wow.
UTHSC. So it just went from word of mouth, really. And sometimes I just pinch myself and say, how did this even happen? You know? And and you have to be authentic and true to yourself. And I think that plays a part too when people know that um you're being truthful, you're being honest, and you're not trying to just sell something. People
Yeah.
know when you're passionate about something and they know that's really what you love to do. And I think that makes a difference as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
I heard you say that you create them every morning.
Every morning.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I have done this by myself, literally. And I have sat at the table with some people that I would have never dreamed. Some of the names behind the big brands that you see being in meetings or a class or on a Zoom call. And it just blows my mind sometimes. And they say, well, Sondra, you have accomplished more than some people that's been in business 1, 2 years. And I just credit that to just being obedient to God
Yeah.
because he just opens doors that no one else can open. He gives you favor. So I tell people, if you would just walk in what God has told you to do, be
Yeah.
confident in it, have faith, and do the work, and
Yeah.
he'll do the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I'm just kind of so, oh my God, rejoicing with you,
Yeah.
the journey that you've been on and where you are and where God is taking you. And so how many orders, how do people order smoothies from you?
They can order it on my website. And
Okay.
I also offer delivery and pickup
Okay.
orders. And like I said, and they can also pick it up from the local studios that I have here locally. I am working on having it shipping where it can go nationally,
Okay.
other places in the United States. So I'm working on that as well. And I'm have another idea that I'm working on trying to launch that I think will be very beneficial as well. But for now, they can order it online. They can they can do pre-orders, and they can pick them up locally here in some of the studios that I stock them in.
What a blessing. Look at
Yeah,
the Lord. You
yeah,
know, I mean, look at God. Look at
mhm,
God.
yeah.
So when you know what, it's one thing to be an author and you see your book on Amazon or in bookstores.
Mhm.
And then, it's an extension of who you are in your brand when you see your products and the
Yes.
results that your products are doing and helping
Mhm.
people. That's
Yeah.
a tremendous, tremendous blessing. And the
Yes.
fact is that you see the demand and you're able to fill that demand. And so I'm thinking about Shark Tank.
I've had a few people say that to me, and
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say no because I'm working
Yeah.
on so much now. But that's definitely, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's just a tremendous blessing to hear your testimony and see how
Mhm.
God has just really orchestrated your life to
Yeah.
get you from the idea of a book, and
Mhm.
then you went further with that. You started moving in your the other passion that you have, and that's the smoothies, and that's a blessing. And
Yeah.
then you working the thing.
You have to. I mean, because if you don't do it, no one else will.
Yeah,
And that's just if you don't put in the work. And some days I am tired, but
yeah,
that's all part of it. I just look at this is what I asked God for, and this is what I prayed for.
yeah,
And faith without works is dead. And I'm not saying not to use wisdom. You know how to listen to your body, and listen to
yeah,
when you need to take a break and reset. And I have done that, taking a little time and reset. But I love doing it, and that's just something I'm passionate about doing because I know it helped me. It helped me when I was having some health issues.
okay,
So I just feel like it's my duty to share that, to get them out there, to promote health, promote wellness, and to offer people an alternative to a better way of food and,
yeah.
health wise.
Yeah, yeah. I think that is so great. So people can get a book, and while you reading the book,
Get
have a
a
smoothie. you know?
I get smoothie. And people's lives are so busy now, and I try to
Yeah,
make it easy for them to where that they're getting in what they need nutrient wise. Because all the time people don't have time to stop and get something. They don't have time to blend something. They don't have time to always make the healthiest choices.
yeah,
And most things that are offered are processed foods or things in
yeah,
vending machines. So I'm just trying to have a better way to offer a healthier alternative so that
yes,
way you can at least get most of the things that your body requires within that smoothie and be able to drink it how you want to drink it throughout the day.
yeah, yeah. So when we first started talking, we led in with you having fear.
Mhm.
Honey, you ain't got no fear now.
It's like I am a whole new person, you
Okay.
know, and it's so, and I tell them, you started this because I remember some days that I would call you or text you and you would be like, you can do it. You got this. You got this. And you would still push me. Sometimes I still would question and be a little um skeptical of my
Yeah,
my own self,
yeah,
and you would tell
yeah,
me, you have the tools to do this. It's in you. You got this. You keep
yeah.
going. So that meant a whole lot to me. So that I always kept those words near and dear to me. And I just took that and went with it because I said,
Yeah,
you know what, if Paulette Harper can tell me this, surely I can do this. So, and then I was watching you too and all the things that you were doing, and it's impressive of all of the things that you've accomplished with your books, with your school, getting your doctorate, and
thank
things
you.
like that. That's what motivates me. That's what fuels me.
Yeah,
And you think you're doing a lot, but when you look at someone else, you can say, hey, there's more to do. I can do some more. So
yeah,
and I love to see people that are continuing to grow and to continue to evolve. And not only that, but make it available to other people.
Yeah.
So that's a thing too, being able to share with other people, share your knowledge, and that even helped me with what I do now. So
Mhm.
now people even ask me, we want you to maybe mentor somebody. And I'm
Oh,
just, what?
that's good.
I would have never dreamed like myself mentoring someone or far as a business, because like I said, a lot of stuff they don't tell you. You don't have a
Yeah,
book, entrepreneurship 101. A lot
got
of
you.
things you learn as you go, you
Yeah,
research, and you just figure it out. But the
yeah,
main things I've learned is not to give up. You have to do the
yeah.
work. You have to do the research. And sometimes you may fail at something, but
Mhm.
that's okay. You have to just keep going. And that's
Yeah,
what I've learned as well.
yeah. That's part of the entrepreneur journey is, you make mistakes, you learn from them, and you rise.
Hmm.
So as we kind of, wind down here, so somebody wants a book from you, somebody wants the good smoothies. How can they connect with you?
They can connect on my website. It's www.kbssmoothnutrition.com. All my social sites are it's kbssmoothnutrition.com. Far as my author book, they can go to that same website or link because I kind of have it all connected. And hopefully soon I will be putting out another book as well. That's on my list. So be on the lookout for that.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Sondra, thank you so much for being an amazing guest here on Now Faith Is TV. And
Thank
those of
you.
you who are tuning in right now, thank you so much as well. And you will definitely see us on another episode of Now Faith Is TV.
Thank you.